Social Security is about to be bankrupt. That's according to a brand new report released from the Social Security Administration. We're going to be talking about that in this video. What does it mean for you? Will your benefits be cut? If so, when? And if you're younger, what are you supposed to do in anticipation of Social Security no longer being around as it stands today? We're talking about all of that in this video, plus a few updates on other political news, such as the stimulus bill, and of course, what is going on in Afghanistan. My name is Kevin Conway. I make personal finance videos, stimulus news videos, and general financial videos all the time. So if you want to see that kind of thing, be sure to check out my other videos, subscribe to the channel, and please, everybody, give a like to this video. I appreciate every single one of you who likes the video and comments below. I really love engaging with you, so please do that. With that being said, let's jump right into this breaking report. So according to the Social Security Administration, which is the administration that administers Social Security, they conduct a report on the financial state of Social Security. Social Security is funded, obviously, by payroll taxes, and those payroll taxes have to be enough coming in to meet the benefits that are being paid out. But the administration just put out a report saying in just 2033, that'll be the last year the Social Security Administration will be able to pay out benefits in full, according to the data that they have today. That means by 2034, Social Security will in effect be insolvent, or in other words, bankrupt if it were a private company. That means they have to reduce benefits or increase taxes if they want to maintain Social Security benefits as they stand today. Now, what's really interesting is that the Social Security Administration is anticipated to deliver a 6% cost of living increase this year due to the increase in inflation over the past 12 months. That'll further compound the problem in the future. And what's very interesting is they detail in the report the effects of COVID. Essentially, what the administration says is that COVID created a massive disruption and a huge question mark over the viability of both Social Security and Medicare. And unfortunately, this is very dark, but unfortunately, this is what they detail in the report. Many people who otherwise would have been receiving benefits from Social Security and Medicare, unfortunately, have passed away as a result of the virus. However, on the other hand, while that may save them money, and again, that's very dark, it could be balanced on the other hand with the fact that a lot of people will need longer term care, higher medical costs as a result of the virus. So basically weigh these two things and say, all in all, it looks like from a Medicare standpoint, there won't be any changes. From a Social Security standpoint, it's pretty nominal all in all. Which brings me to, what is the status of Medicare? Well, according to the New York Times, Medicare's hospital trust fund is projected to be unable to pay all of its bills beginning in 2026. The estimate is similar to those from Medicare's trustees in recent years. Fixing that gap could be solved by an increase in Medicare taxes. Now, it should be noted that Medicare Hospital Trust Fund is different than the Medicare benefits. Those are scheduled to be good for at least another couple of decades. And if you're wondering, disability is not going to be insolvent anytime soon, although the amount of years that they actually projected its solvency was reduced by 8. It is still viable, according to the actuaries today, all the way until about 2051. So what are you supposed to do if you are getting ready to retire? Well, it's my take that if you are close to retirement age or you are already retired, it is extremely unlikely. I would say virtually 0% chance that your benefits will be changed, really for two reasons. Number one, these changes, the insolvency of Social Security and Medicare, won't occur for at least a decade, but much more significantly, number two, both the Republicans and the Democrats strongly support both of these programs. They are, in other words, the third rail of politics, and that means that they are not going to let the benefits be cut for those who are receiving them or about to receive them now because, of course, you guys are far and away the largest voting bloc. On the other hand, if you are younger and you are looking at this and you are saying there's no possible way that I'm going to be receiving Social Security or Medicare at all, or really in any significant way over the course of my lifetime, what am I supposed to do? Well, very simply, I would just invest some money. I would invest some money so that you can have money that you can depend on that isn't dependent on the government. I have many videos on investing, but the quick takeaway is I would just open an account at somewhere like Vanguard, deposit money into an account and buy the S&P 500 index fund. do that every single month with $20, $100, $500, whatever you have, and do that for basically the rest of your life. And eventually you're going to wake up and see that it's going to grow to a very substantial amount of money that you can depend on. That's not dependent on politicians or tax raises or projections from any sort of administration. It is going to be your money in addition to whatever may be left over for Social Security. Okay, so now let's quickly cover the status of the stimulus bill. It's kind of start and stop because Congress, of course, likes to take a lot of vacations, but essentially where it is right now is getting into the meat of the matter, actually finding out how they're going to raise revenue for the $3.5 trillion human infrastructure bill. This is a very contentious point, the raising of revenue. That means raising taxes. And what's very interesting is while the Republicans are essentially unanimously opposed to any material tax increases, especially to those like capital gains or taxes at death, the Democrats also are having fractures in their own party over that same issue. Many of the so-called centrist Democrats do not want to see increases in capital gains at death or during someone's lifetime at all, for fear that it could break up so-called family farms or family businesses. Many of these Democrats are from areas where there's a lot of family farms and family businesses that could be negatively affected by the current Biden administration proposals. The reason why that's significant is because even if only a few Democrats in the House or even one Democrat in the Senate doesn't vote for the bill because of these reasons, the bill will fail and not pass because the Republicans are unanimously opposed to it. So right now, they're negotiating with one another, especially within the Democratic Party, to figure out, are they going to simply raise the deficit? Are they going to borrow more money every single year to pay for these programs? Or are they going to do what they originally intended, which is to fully pay for the bill with tax increases? Or are they going to reduce the size of the bill in full? That means reductions and, of course, different sort of spending programs or benefits, but of course, reductions in other taxes, such as the 1031 exchange that real estate investors use, wiping that away or lowering the capital gains taxation in the first place. This is a debate that is currently going on, and I will bring you the latest news as soon as we have it. And lastly, of course, with Afghanistan, just a few parting thoughts. Here are some very interesting things that have occurred over the last few days. The United States is officially 100% out of Afghanistan, both militarily and diplomatically. We do not have any embassy in Afghanistan right now. We essentially have no connections into Afghanistan right now. However, there are at least a few hundred Americans who are American citizens and a few thousand American green card holders, which are essentially the same thing as American citizens from an embassy standpoint, still left in Afghanistan right now, even though we left Afghanistan on August 30th. They are still stuck there. We are going to try to get them out according to the Biden administration. And of course, there are tens of thousands or even more Afghan allies who help the United States that are still left in Afghanistan, wondering what they're going to do. Now, President Biden says that this pullout of Afghanistan was chaotic, but it was inevitable, and the era of nation building is over, meaning we are done with these forever wars. We're not going to stay occupied in a country that we cannot possibly win or materially change over the long run, in his view, and therefore pulling out now, while a little messy, is going to be good for the long run. Now, complicating the matter is the fact that China is now, according to the Taliban's #1 ally, which may strike you as odd for a variety of reasons, but it makes sense when you realize that Afghanistan is home to more than $1 trillion worth of rare earth minerals, which is something China, of course, very much wants on their hands. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the geopolitics in the near future. But that's essentially what has happened in Afghanistan. We will know more in the future. With that being said, I'd appreciate you liking the video and commenting below with any questions or any future video suggestions you may have, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.